What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered Live. Yo, we are 8 days away. 8 days. 8 days. Oh my goodness. Bro, I'm jacked. I am stoked. Welcome aboard. It's your boy, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hurricanes Unfiltered. Like, subscribe, follow. Hit the social media. I'm dropping videos there too. Bro, I am excited. I hope you are excited because I know we are ready to roll for the win. Mike Webb, what's going on? If you are in the room, drop a comment. Let me know you are here. If you are in the room, hit the like button. Let's go. Let's go, people. If you've seen my video that I dropped last night, this morning, probably this morning, yes, I'm calling out Indiana on their puffed up, bogus, crap ass schedule. I'm calling out the national disrespect by national credentialed media who seem to not know anything about football. I call them all out. These videos I'm watching, these podcasts, I'm seeing the comments that are being posted on Twitter, on Instagram. It's hot in here, man. Taking the hat off. Bro, those comments are so off. I mean, we should just stay home. I mean, the players should stay in Coral Gables. They shouldn't leave their apartments or their dorms because the outcome has been determined that Miami's going to get run off the field by the James Madison graduates who are 24 years old. I mean, that's what this has turned into. It's almost as if they forgot that we just beat Ohio State, that we just beat Ole Miss, that we just beat Texas A&M. We just beat three teams that are better than Oregon. We just beat three teams that are better than Oregon. We beat Notre Dame, better than Oregon. We got 4 wins on our schedule that are better than Indiana's second best win. 4. Alabama is worse than Oregon. So we beat 4 teams that are better than their 2 playoff teams that they played. And they did beat Ohio State. And they needed Ohio State to miss a 27-yard field goal with 2 minutes to go to win that game. Because otherwise that was 13-13, and we don't know what would have happened then. But when we were put to the task of 17-14 with 6 minutes still in the fourth quarter, what did our boys do? Our boys took that ball, said, here you go. Here's my lunch pail, my hard hat. I'm going to punch you in your goddamn suck hole, and I'm going to run your ass over in your number 1 ranked defense. And there's not a goddamn thing that you can do about it. And that's exactly what them big boys, Francis Mauingoa, Markel Bell, James Brockermeyer, Nez Cooper, whichever guy was playing left guard, because I never know which one's there, if it's Okunlola or McCoy. They said, what? Handleball to big Mark Fletcher, and you look like a damn track star, busting that ass. That's what this team has done. And I'm not sitting here disrespecting the Indiana Hoosiers. They have a darn good team. But the crazy talk that has these national people completely doing the Gok 3000 to Kurt Signetti and Fernando Mendoza, my God, it's ridiculous. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. I don't think Ohio State got dogged out like this publicly when we played them in 2002 for the national championship. I don't think they got this type of disrespect when we played them. But for some reason, they want to disrespect the Miami Hurricanes football players. That's not a disrespect on me. I'm a fan. But those dudes have worked their tails off. They've worked their tails off to be basically cast aside like an afterthought. Well, you know what they do? They take note of everything. They take note of everything. And they put it on their notepad. And they ball it up. And they put it in their brain. And they block it. And then you see what they do on that football field. And let's be completely transparent. Let's be completely real. Miami won a game in the semifinals against Ole Miss in which they played their C-plus game, B- to C-plus game, because they played a very dirty game, very unclean game. The penalties, the dropped interceptions. I mean, we can be real about it. If Miami does the things that they're supposed to do, forget about the penalties. If Miami just intercepts the ball, Miami wins that game by 3 touchdowns. There was 2 pick sixes on that field that we left on that field. People wonder why I always talk about how that was a great play by Keontae Scott. Forget about the fact that it was a great play. He caught the ball. DBs drop balls all the time. I think we know this by now. They play DB largely because they can't catch. Or they can't catch consistently. And they get so excited that the ball's coming their way. Oh my God, I got it. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, we dropped 2 interceptions on one single play. So we played a B-C+ game and won over Ole Miss. And we also got to see that we had the opportunity to see our boy Carson Beck. Our boy Carson Beck, who I've defended all year. Don't ever say shit about that man again. I don't even care what happens on Monday. I care, but I don't care because you saw Carson Beck pick us up on his shoulders in the fourth quarter and drive us down the field twice, 75-yard touchdown drives, 15 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes to go in the game. Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys. And everyone said, man, Carson Beck is so old. He's been playing for so long. Did you know that Trinidad Chambliss is older than Carson Beck? Why was that narrative never pushed out there? Why wasn't it ever said that Trinidad Chambliss is NFL aged as well? Why not? Why aren't we putting out that the Indiana's got 6 dudes that are 6-year seniors? It's like all these things that they say about Carson Beck when these other teams have more of it. Thankfully for the Miami Hurricanes, Miami's got an offensive line that is beast mode and a bunch of seniors as well for the most part and putting in work. Because Miami don't have a young baby team. They got CJ Dan. I mean, look at the receiving corps. 3 of the 5 top receivers are gone at the end of this year. Miami's going to lose 4 of their 5 offensive linemen into this year. And we're just going to reload them dudes because that's what Mark Cristobal's been doing. But it's absolutely bananas and crazy that it's just, man, Miami should just stay the fuck home. Just stay home. Yeah, Chris Swanky was 24 when he got into college. I remember that all too well. Yeah, Mike Webb. I'm glad you said this. By the way, I forgot to put this up here. Where is it? Where is my comment thing? Where is my comment thing? Why aren't my comments showing up? Yeah, Mike, definitely, man. They couldn't catch. They dropped over 40 passes last year, and people got mad at Carson Beck. Like, bro, the dude. I mean, what did he have to do? He you know what he tried to do? He tried to become a hero. That's typically what happens when your guys aren't doing their jobs. You try to become the hero, and when you try to be the hero, well, then what happens? Mistakes can happen, and I understand that. And it's a sucky situation. It was a shitty situation that he had to go through last year at Georgia. But my goodness, Carson Beck is a dog, bro. And I hope people understand that. 24-3 at Georgia, and let's not forget that now he's 37-5 as a starting quarterback in college football. 37-5. As a starter. Yet all we get to hear about is how amazing Fernando Mendoza is. Whoever's in the room, did you actually watch the video I dropped about Indiana's puffed up trash can schedule? Because I also pointed out that Carson Beck in big games has been better than Fernando Mendoza. I'm not making it up. It's a statistical fact. Carson Beck against top 25 teams this year has been better than Fernando Mendoza. Statistical fact. Higher completion percentage, higher QB rating, more yards, more touchdowns. He's been better than him. But all we get to hear about is, oh my God, Mendoza he throws, he's perfect. His ball placement is impeccable. His ball placement is perfect. Again, I'm not dissing Fernando Mendoza. I'm giving that message to the national idiots. These national buffoons who are sitting here and telling us, oh, Miami don't even need to show up. We're going to lose by 3 touchdowns on our home field. Yeah, that's that's the message. It's for them. Because if you look at the numbers are the numbers. Beck's thrown for more yards than Mendoza this year. People act like Beck is like the 50th ranked quarterback in the country. He's 11th in QBR this year in the country. 11th. He's thrown for more yards than Mendoza. Mendoza just puffed up all his numbers in these 2 games against Alabama, that trash can, who didn't belong in the playoffs. And Oregon, who I said all year long, isn't that good. I hope people remember how many times I said Oregon wasn't that good. I said Dante Moore's not that good. And Dante Moore did nothing but confirm everything I've said about him. I don't know how that guy is considered a top draft pick next year. I mean, he should jump in the draft right now and avoid going back to school, because if he goes back to school and gets exposed some more, he may find his draft status slip some, because the dude is completely overrated. He throws a pick on the first play of the game against Indiana. I mean, I talked to Nick, my partner, Nick, who played DB cornerback in the CFL for a number of years. He said Dante Moore should have seen just how the DB was lined up. That he should have simply seen how the DB was lined up. So when you hear that, if you're supposed to know how the DB's lined up and know that you don't throw the ball, then what? He still throws the ball, and then he throws it poorly to the inside. That was a dead play for them. He should have seen that in formation. That's what my boy Nick said, who played cornerback. He said he should have seen that in formation. He couldn't even recognize that on the first play of the game, and they want to call this guy a top 3 pick? And then he fumbles the ball off of his own running back? That's on him. They gave away 28 points to Indiana on 26 yards. And they could play that game 100 times. It would never look like that again. So when they use that game as this outlier of a game as the example of how amazing Indiana is, Mendoza threw for 177 yards. Oregon outgained them. Dante Moore threw for 108 more yards than Mendoza did. The leading rusher was from Oregon. You turn it over 3 times inside the 20 and have a punt blocked, you're going to lose every single time. I don't care who you are. It's a given. It's a given. Yeah, we were big favorites over Ohio State, number-wise, but you didn't hear national media take a shit on Ohio State like they're doing in the Miami Hurricanes right now. Like, these national media members are bold. They are bold. It's crazy. They are bold as hell in what they're saying. Robert Griffin III, that fucking idiot. Oh my God, that guy's a moron. This dude said, should we? And I heard another one say it. God, there was another quarterback, another former QB that said that nonsense. Indiana's one of the best teams in the history of college football. What? If Indiana beats Miami, they're still not one of the best teams in the history of college football. If they somehow beat Miami down here, they're still not one of the best teams in the history of college football. No, sorry. No, not a chance. Not a chance. The 2001 Hurricanes, like the demolitions they put on top 10 teams that year. Like, I don't think people understand what Miami did to those top 10 teams when they played them. Top 15 teams. It's crazy to think Miami, and what they did to those teams. Because it is, shoot, man. I just don't get it. I don't get how you can even come up with some crazy crap like that. Miami started off that year beating beating Penn State 33-7 on the road, beating Florida State by 22, 14th ranked, beating Syracuse by 59, beating 12th ranked Washington by 58, beating 4th ranked Nebraska by 23, beating 14th ranked Virginia Tech. Like, that was the only close game they played all year. I mean, they had that Boston College headache, but Indiana had a few of those Boston College type headaches. They had that at Iowa. They had a headache at Penn State. They had a headache. Hell, they had a headache against Old Dominion. They had a headache against Old Dominion. It's crazy. What do you mean be careful with the Mendoza kid because you live in Miami? I don't give a freaking Rudy Two candy ass about freaking Fernando Mendoza. I don't give a damn about him. I had some idiot. I got some idiot. Jesus Christ. Are any of y'all members of any of these Facebook groups? Are any of y'all members? By the way, I don't know why the switch for putting my comments up isn't here. I don't know why. That's why I'm not showing the comments on the right hand side here on the right side of the screen, because usually I can put the comments up as they, the chat. But do y'all remember? Oh shoot, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah. Oh yeah. Let me get back to it. Yes. Fernando Mendoza. There was some dude in one of these Hurricanes Facebook groups. If any of y'all are any of those Facebook groups, please let me know. Let me know because it's just let me know yes or no. But I'm in a bunch of them, right? And I read a lot of stuff. First of all, folks, there are some of us out there, and I'm not saying anybody in this room, but there are some of us Hurricane fans that need therapy. I mean, need some serious therapy. Because 5 seconds after beating Ole Miss, they're saying, we're going to get our ass kicked if we play like this in the national championship. That's really what you got 5 minutes after beating Ole Miss in the Fiesta Bowl in a classic bowl game. I mean, sheesh. That's what you got. That's the first thing that comes out of your mind, out of your brain, is to say that we're going to get our ass kicked if we play like this. Well, we just beat the number 6 team in the country with what we have nine penalties, have a pick inside the 20, blow a couple of scoring opportunities earlier in the game. Like, is that what you thought of? No, I thought of, we just overcame a truckload of playing of crap to beat a freaking really good Ole Miss team with a dynamic quarterback and weapons everywhere and manhandled the ball for over 41 minutes to 18 plus minutes. You think if we have the ball for 41 minutes against Indiana, that game will not be close. It will be a blowout. It will be a blowout. Because Indiana does not have the type of dynamic offense that Ole Miss does. But yeah, so this guy in the Facebook group posts up, and it just annoys me because you're sitting here. This guy asked, why aren't Miami Hurricanes fans showing love to Fernando Mendoza? What? Showing love to Fernando Mendoza? Why the freaking hell would we show love to Fernando Mendoza? We're coming here to knock his brains in. No love for Fernando Mendoza. I hope Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor on the first play of the game meet at the quarterback and sandwich him like this and snap him in half. Yes, I said it. Snap his ass in half. Y'all remember how Ohio State hit Mendoza on the first play of the game? That's how I want him to get hit. But I want him to get hit like this from both ends. I don't give a darn if he is healthy or not after that hit. I don't care. Because I grew up in the world of, you knock the quarterback out of the game, it improves your chances of winning by a lot. That's the generation of football I grew up in. I'm hitting you to hurt you. And we were actually missing that hitting to hurt you against Ole Miss. We had it against Ohio State. We weren't hitting to knock people's brains in against Ole Miss. We weren't. There was some stuff missing from that game, and of course we find out later on that like 25% of the team had the flu. I mean, Mark Fletcher had the flu, that's for sure. But like 25% of the team had the flu and caught the flu the night before. Like, if you've ever had the flu, I wouldn't be playing a football game with the flu. not at this age. Like, that's crazy. To go through that and still perform like that, it explains a lot. It could explain penalties as well. It could explain that their focus wasn't completely there because they felt like crap physically. If you feel like crap physically, maybe you're not hearing things properly. Maybe something's getting past you. Maybe some of these things are like, maybe like you're just a little foggy up top because you feel sick. Man, you can keep putting that stuff up there, Albert. I don't give a god darn. Knock his head off. I don't care. But you asked the question here. Can you speak on? It won't happen. It won't happen. There's gonna be way more Hurricanes fans. Like we got. Yo, we're playing in Miami, dog. You're not gonna have more Indiana fans than Miami fans in Miami. You're not. You're not. You're not. You're not. You're not. It ain't gonna happen. It's gonna be 70% Miami fans. You know, the one thing about this stadium that is a negative is that it only seats like 65,000. So that's 20,000 per team in tickets, and 25,000 are corporate tickets, basically sponsors. It's interesting how they put everybody on this side. Like they have the left side, the northwest side, end zone to corner side, Miami, the southwest corner, southeast corner, um, to Indiana, and then everything around on the bottom on the south side is all so the northeast side, and everything on the south side around is corporate. It's really interesting how they put that together. I would have thought it'd be better off to put like I don't know both like who knows. But they're also selling standing room only tickets from what I've heard. I've seen. They're standing. I don't know where they're putting these people. I think they're going to jam like 70,000 people into the stadium somehow. I really don't know. Yeah, Indiana played Wisconsin, Purdue, and Northwestern. Against Purdue, Mendoza was 8 of 15. Just so you know. Don't know if you were aware of that. Yes, we are the visitors by the way it's laid out. So we'll be on the north side of the field rather than the south side where we typically are. Apparently, I think we have the same locker room because we have our own locker room separate from the Miami Dolphins. So I presume that Indiana will have the Dolphins locker room. And yeah, we're wearing all white. Yeah, I don't. Again, Indiana was not playing in someone else's home field. I mean, they weren't playing. They weren't playing at Ohio State, or they weren't playing at a road game. They weren't playing at Alabama. You think they would have more people at Alabama than Alabama if they played at Alabama? Come on, like no, no. And are we really gonna remember this very clearly? Dade County. If you're from Dade County, you know what Dade County is. Dade County, Miami, Florida, for good or bad. And I'm gonna get back to that Facebook thing, by the way. Good or bad, it's an event city. It's an event area. So when people criticize attendance at games, you've always known that Miami supports winning teams. And so what happened when Miami lost a couple games? The attendance basically plummeted overnight. Tickets were sold, but attendance plummeted. You think we're going to have an attendance issue for this game? There are Hurricanes fans that are going crazy over the fact that you're not really going to be allowed to park and tailgate without a ticket to the game. Now, I will say this: if you don't have a ticket to the game, I don't know why you'd pay $400 to get a parking pass to tailgate. Yes, $400 for the cheapest parking pass in the yellow lot. The orange lot is going for $1,000 or more. That's the one that's right around the stadium. The black lot, forget about it. It's like 5 G's to park. Makes no kind of sense. I don't understand why they didn't allow us to attach parking passes to our ticket purchases. Like that just was so stupid to me. I got my tickets through the Hurricane Club. I have 4 tickets. I mean, my tickets were $475 a pop. I'm in section 312. Typically, I sit in the Cornerstone Suites on section 254, but that's all corporate. All of it is corporate. So, and I'm not paying $10,000 for a ticket to go to a football game, let alone even $3,000. That's just crazy. But I paid $475 per ticket, and I got 4 tickets to the game. So, but they didn't allow us to attach the parking pass, which I thought was absolutely stupid. So I had to pay $4 for a parking pass. When did you get them, Gio? Because I couldn't get one. I got the Hurricane Club. It didn't allow me to put a parking pass in. It didn't allow it when I made my request, unless I screwed up and I didn't notice it. I don't know what I did wrong then if I did it. But yeah, parking passes are a ripoff. I think it should be a criminal offense to charge resell a parking pass for $400. Like that's just outrageous. And they're selling park and ride from 95 by the Golden Glades for $7,500 to jump on a bus. That's crazy. But But yeah, um, yeah. Uh, Again, back, but I think Miami will have 70% of the fans in there. Remember, South Florida is an event place. People who have money will be there. They'll pay the 3,000, the 5,000, the $10,000 for tickets. They will. And the corporations, a lot of them are probably going to be local. The local lobbyists, they get all kinds of tickets. Like it's going to be Miami. Trust. It's not going to be more Indiana fans than Miami. There won't be more Indiana fans than Miami fans. There's a lot more money in South Florida than there is in Indiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, or Bloomington, Indiana, or wherever Indiana. There just is. Like this isn't an opinion. This is a fact. So yeah, I don't know what I had. I don't know what. Again, if you tell me how you got your. I mean, my parking pass for the season, I parked in the blue lot. Even I'm in the blue lot. I parked. I think what was my? I think it was $200 for the whole season for my parking pass. 250 maybe been. We had 8 games. I think it was 250 for the whole season for parking in the blue lot. Now that Facebook thing. So this guy posts on Facebook. This is our claims to be a Hurricane fan. It's really weird. There's a lot of these troll dolls that come into the Hurricane groups on Facebook and just come in there to start shit up. And you know what? If that's what you enjoy doing, go ahead and do it. I would never recommend any of y'all doing that in other people's groups because I think that's an absolute waste of time unless it just is fun to you. Unless it's just fun to you. But I don't do that because I couldn't care less about doing that. I have seen podcasts, but I'm not going to anyone's chats. That's stupid. So this guy who's claims he's a Miami fan says, "Why aren't y'all showing Mendoza love? I mean, he's from Miami. You should be showing him love. I'm from Indiana, but I'm a diehard Hurricane fan, and it would soften the blow if Indiana won over Miami because it's Indiana, because it's my hometown." And I'm sitting here and he's asking this question. So I graciously took my time and I responded to him. And in my response, I let him know that clearly he's riding the fence because there's no way in hell that a loss in this game or any game for that matter would ever be softened based on who you lost to. Like ever. Ever. I went to FIU. Do you think that the loss to FIU in football a few years back was softened because I went to FIU? Hell no. That crap was so god darn embarrassing. I wanted to put my head in the dirt, and I got 3 degrees from FIU. I wasn't cheering for FIU. Couldn't care less about FIU's sports program. Zero cares about their programs. None. There's no softening of blows. I replied to him. I said, so being that you're riding a fence, you don't understand. You're not from here. You wouldn't understand the levels of embarrassment it would bring people to have a kid that Miami did not recruit as a quarterback, for which they're questioning the recruiting of him, being that he had no offers until like right before, because he was going to go to Yale, and then Cal offered him late, and he went to Cal. But that was his only D1 offer. So he went to Cal. He wasn't that good. He wasn't that good at the time. Nobody offered him. Damn, Gio, I don't know how January said that they went on sale like in the morning or whatever the hell it was, and I missed it because when I went on that thing to get it, it was gone. Like I went on Friday and it was gone. So the 7th, that was Wednesday. No, that was before the semifinals. Oh man, it was before the semifinals. God, dog, shit. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know why they were selling parking passes before we had a game decided. That's like stupider than hell. That's a CFP mistake then, because they should never have put those things on sale until after the game was actually decided. But you're telling me that you're softening, the blow is softened by losing to Indiana, and you think we should show Mendoza love. Bro, you ain't from Dade County. You don't understand the embarrassment it would bring to lose to that dude. It would be embarrassing to lose to that dude. It would be hard to stomach losing to anybody, let alone losing to a guy from your city who went somewhere else. Like, you understand? Like, if you're telling me to soften the blow, that means that every team that we play, it should be a softened blow, because you know what? There's kids from Dade County on that team. I mean, we play Florida State every goddamn year. They got like 10 dudes or so At least 10 dudes remind me every damn time we play them. I mean, for Christ's sakes, we played Louisville. It should have been softened because we lost to the dude from Homestead. It should have been softened. We played SMU because we had dudes from South Florida that were on that team in Homestead against SMU. It should have been. Were you cheering for freaking? Would have been softened if Ohio State had beaten us with Jeremiah Smith and the dudes that are from South Florida on that team? Like, listen to that crap. I'm just like, you can't be serious. I know what this dude's response. I said, so since you're not from here, you have no understanding of what it is. Now, this guy responded. This dude responded. He says, don't you disrespect me and my fandom. I've been a fan for 40 plus years, putting in work as a fan. Putting in work? What are you, a gang member? By the way, this was an old white dude. Middle-aged white dude, probably in his 50s. Sorry. He said he's an OG fan. I'm sorry. He calls himself an OG fan who's been putting in work as a fan. I looked at his Facebook profile. I started laughing. I was laughing. And I replied again, and I had to re-educate him again with all these things. If he replied or not, I couldn't care less. I had another guy threaten me because I criticized freaking Shannon Dawson because I thought Shannon Dawson called a shit turd game against against Ole Miss. I mean, it's okay. Shit turd's a little bit mean. An uneven game, a game that didn't make sense. Like there were certain plays that went in that was like, why are you doing that? Flea flicker, Malacat run. Like we're running the ball down their throats and we're sitting here doing Malacat and running a fucking flea flicker. Like why from the 34-yard line? You don't run a flea flicker from the other team's 34. Flea flickers are run when you're at midfield or behind the like at the 40. It's when you have space. You don't run that crap at the 34-yard line when the field's been closed off. Come on now, that's a bad play in itself. Yeah. He got bodies under his belt as an OG fan. I was laughing my ass off. I said, "Oh my God, what are you gonna threaten? You want to fight me? Come on, man. I've had people wanting to fight me for the last 2 weeks, bro. Hell, last month already. Shit. Everybody wants to fight me, man. The other team, our team. I mean, our fans, other teams' fans. People all want to fight me, man. It's funny as hell. I had one guy, and I shit you not. I had this one guy who happens to be an athletic director of a Christian school in Fort Lauderdale, who who's on Facebook group yakking about how anybody who criticized Shannon Dawson for his play calling or Carson Beck, you're not a real fan. You should turn your fandom in. Blase. And I replied to him. I said, you know what? I love Carson Beck. I've been on Carson Beck all year. I love Carson Beck. But Dawson's play calling has been completely uneven all season. And I explained, I wasn't disrespectful to him. This dude comes back and calls me a dummy. Like, really? What? How am I a dummy? I coached football. I've covered football. I've played football. Dawson's game plan was uneven. He killed drives with some of those decisions. No, it wasn't Bobby Knight. But oh my goodness. But so this guy, he's yakking away. And I replied to it turned into, I'm sorry, I gotta do it. We had mutual friends on Facebook, by the way. That's what makes it funnier. We got mutual. He starts naming them. So clearly he's looking at my friends list, right? On Facebook. So this guy, he starts talking about how he want to fight somebody. Because I said to him, it's real funny how people get real nasty on the internet. They start puffing their chest out. They get real big and bad on the internet and on Facebook and different social media platforms. Understand this. I'm not here to fight anybody. I'm a 48-year-old man. I'm not fighting someone over some stupid shit. This is ridiculous. Like, I'm trying to understand why anyone wants to fight over some dumb shit. But this guy, I said, you would be the same guy that if you saw me in the street would smile in my face and shake my hand. This guy says to me, you name the place anytime, anywhere in his response. By that point, I had Googled him. I knew everything about him. I had Googled him. I knew everything about him. I knew where he lived. I knew where he worked. I knew what his job was. I knew everything. I knew who his daughter was. I knew where she played sports. I knew about his family. Understand, people, I live on the internet. I know everything about anybody who wants to come at me. And I find out within seconds. My dirty environment got put into play. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you, bro. Damn right. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, bipolar as hell. Yeah, Gio, I agree with you. But nah, she was like, not for me. But I knew all about him. So my response to him was, I wrote a book. I named his boss, his second in command. I named his, I named his school, his position as an athletic director at this Christian school. I am sure they would all love to know about how you are threatening people on social media. I don't know that the Christian values that you're supposed to be uplifting and as a mentor and a role model to kids is a good idea that you're threatening people over an opinion on a football game. Like you're daring the people to fight you. I said, but I'd happily schedule an appointment and we can do this at your school right in front of everybody if that's what you want to do. Because his school is 15 minutes from where I live. Oh, and I also know the coach. I also know the coach of his basketball team at his school. His fucking coach coached my son. Like, you cannot make this crap up. You cannot make this up. His basketball coach coached my kid last year in travel ball, was his private trainer, lives in my complex. He blocked me. Can't find the post anymore. He either deleted the post, and I screenshot everything. I got it all on my phone because I knew he would. Once I started naming these people, I screenshot everything. Next thing you know, no response. I can't find the post. I'm sure it's been deleted, and I can't find him anymore. His profile disappeared. He blocked me. He blocked me. And I looked on the mutual friends list of the other guys that I'm friends with that we were mutual friends with, disappeared, completely blocked me. Understand who you're dealing with when you want to fuck around. Fuck around and find out. Because I could cost you your career real fast. Injuries now. Mario Cristobal on the press conference today. By the way, I did not get credentialed for the game. It sucks. I was hoping I would. I did not get credentialed. I do have tickets. I did pay my $400 anal probing parking fee because I don't want to take an Uber to the game. It'll end up costing the same and be a nightmare. And I want to have my car. And I know, presuming we win, we'll be stuck in the parking lot for like 3 freaking hours after the game. But I will be bringing some type of content from the stadium. I'm going to do my best. But I did get credentialed for media day. So I'm on all the media stuff. I will be on Saturday at the Miami Beach Convention Center for media day. These people put this crap at 9:00 in the morning, bro. 9:00 in the morning on a Saturday. What are you trying to do to me? Like, what are you trying to do to me? 9:00 in the morning? At least make the Indiana people wake up at 9:00 in the morning. I'm coming from Miami. You can at least have ours at 10:30 because they got Miami from 9 to 10:30 and Indiana from 10:30 to 12. I would have happily done 10:30 to 12. I gotta leave my house now at 7:45 in the morning and get down to Miami Beach. What the freaking hell is going on here? Now, Frederic should be good. Moten is all go. Mesdor is all go. Damari Brown's day to day. And Elijah Lofton might be the guy that doesn't play. I mean, the way he got hit in that one catch, I don't know what the hell happened to him. It looked like he was coughing up blood or something. So if there's a guy that's not going to play, my guess it's Elijah Lofton. Damari Brown is an interesting situation because Damari Brown has been out now for the last 7 weeks. And I don't want to be mean about it, but at a certain point, should have get off the pot, bro. shit or get off the pot. Like that stuff is craziness to me when you're sitting here talking about it's still day to day. So it's gotten back. I've heard, and because I can't confirm it or not, that it's a turf toe issue. Now turf toe sucks. They might have his sternum might have been broken. I don't know. He was coughing up blood. That's what was said actually. Um, I turf toe sucks, but for freaking hell's sakes, if you tore a ligament in your toe, have surgery, move the hell on. You can't play. You can't play. But this game that we're doing right now is not. If you have ever had a bruised sternum, by the way, it hurts like hell, and you're playing football, so that could be a problem. I'll get to you, Jake. Don't worry. Um, yeah, that turf toe thing is like, bro, should have got off the pot, man. And realistically, Toradol shot, painkiller, tape it up, deal with it, suck it up. It's a national championship. If you can't run, then stop playing with us. If you can't run, stop playing with us. Because right now we're gonna be without Xavier Lucas for the first half of this game. I don't know if there's an appeal process that can be put in there because if you watch that damn hit, that was not targeting. That's a horrible rule. I've always said this targeting rule is a horrible rule. That was not targeting at all. At all. What are people supposed to do in football? So we're going to be without at least one of our starting corners, more than likely with Xavier Lucas. Damari Brown again. I suck it up, man. I'm not worried. Okay. Why are you worried, Jake? Why are you worried? Look, again, that's why you shoot it up with a Toradol shot. You make it numb. Yeah. This whole deal of day to day, like, bro, either you're gonna play or you're not. Like by now, you know how you're feeling. He was talking like he was gonna play after the Ole Miss game. Him and Frederic were both talking like they were gonna play. But if he's not, I mean, I don't want to say someone needs to buck up a little bit, but buck the freaking hell up, bro. Buck up, dude. Buck up, bro. We were down to two freshman corners in that game against Ole Miss, which is tough. But hey, if they're gonna have to play, get your reps in, bro. Lace your boots up, like Keelan Murray said. Lace your boots up. Get ready to go. Get ready to go. I'm not. Are you serious, Hoosier Dave? I don't recommend that. If anyone saw the video from Classy, Dr. Classy Kane, I don't recommend going to Liberty City. I don't recommend staying in Miami Gardens. I don't recommend going to Hialeah or Lauderhill or what was the other Opalaka? Please don't go to Opalaka. Definitely not at night. I don't recommend that. I don't want you to come down here and die bluntly. I would only be in Miami Gardens the night of the game. If you're from out of town, do not be in Miami Gardens unless it's the night of the game, the day of the game. Other than that, not a place you're walking around at night. Hell, I was in Miami on Saturday, and I'm driving through Wynwood. And for people that are from South Florida, Wynwood used to be Overtown adjacent, or it still is Overtown adjacent, and not the greatest area. Wynwood's basically a street now, and I drove down. It was like 12:30 in the afternoon, and people think it's a tourist attraction. People think it's a tourist attraction. I mean, people taking pictures are there. Like, bro, it's a club. It's a night scene club place that if you walk one block to the left or to the right, you might get jacked. Not a good idea. Very interesting. And definitely don't stay in Florida City. That crap is crazy. I mean, we'll talk about that Bryce Fitzgerald thing in a second. If we win, will you put a colorful pointy hat on your head for? I'll do anything right now if we win. I thought the guys did a good job. Now, I don't know which DB it was that was literally tackling the DeJon Stripling from Ole Miss in the end zone, but goddamn, man, he was tackling that dude. I mean, they were hand fighting each other, but dude, he was grabbing him from about 10 yards, about 12 yards. And that was not a good. That junk was crazy, man. That, like, bro, you can't be that obvious. Of course, people are calling it out. Hey, you know what? They called one earlier on a completely uncatchable ball that Trinidad Chambliss threw into the dirt on 3rd down and 8. So in the fourth quarter. Uh, I don't think you have to worry about people taking over the stadium. I really don't. Um, no, I'm just glad for once they didn't. That you don't call that. I mean, it's one of those things. But they were both tangled up the whole time. But it was pretty obvious that that was. Well, mind you, again during the game, we had receivers get tackled twice. So we had receivers being tackled. So and they didn't call it. So I don't feel bad. I don't care. You can suck a dick. It doesn't matter to me if you don't like that. It was. I'm glad it wasn't called. Screw it. It doesn't matter to me. It is what it is, and we are here. But Jabari Antoine, I mean, he was the one I think that had the PI actually that was called that he did commit it, but the ball was thrown to the ground. It was thrown to the ground. It was weak, and I don't know. I mean I don't know enough about the freshman DBs to speak on them. Be ready to play. Be ready to play. I'm expecting them to be ready to play. I expect them to come. They're going to get a lot of reps this week. The Miami Hurricanes are practicing at home, which is great for them. They don't have to. They're practicing on their home field on Green Tree, in their bubble or whatever. They're practicing at home. They go to the hotel from what it seems like on Friday. Their check-in is Friday because that's the arrival time for the teams at the airport. I guess maybe the Canes will get in a plane and fly in a circle and come back down because there's an actual immediate thing for the arrival to greet the teams for their arrival from at the airport. There's only one team flying in, so Friday is when Miami goes to the hotel. I believe is the case. Don't know what hotel they're staying at. I'm guessing someone's staying at the Marriott. I can't imagine both teams are staying in the same hotel. That would be crazy. I live in Pompano Beach. I live in Pompano. Um, Sitting right here. So let's. I mean, I'm gonna bring up a topic that might be a little bit sensitive to some people, but I'll tell you this: the situation with Bryce Fitzgerald has me upset, and obviously, I'm glad he's safe. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad that nothing happened to him behind him besides him losing that probably massive BF pendant that he wears everywhere that apparently is valued at $75,000. Listen, folks, go get moissanite. Go get cubic zirconia. Don't walk around in a damn hood wearing $75,000 worth of jewelry. Like that's like next level stupid. I'm just being real. Definitely 3 o'clock in the morning in Florida City isn't the greatest idea. I know he's a young kid, he's 18 or whatever, 18 or 19 years old, but you got to make better decisions than that. And I don't know who convinced him. Yeah, I live in Pompano. I live on Alpha Atlantic, East Pompano, Alpha Atlantic. I don't understand why in the world that anyone would think that walking around, going around at 3 o'clock in the morning to parties, house parties at an Airbnb makes any kind of sense. It almost sounds like he got set up. It almost sounds like he got set up. I don't get it. I'm glad he's okay, and he's been posting a few things on social media. Blase, blase, dude. You're preparing for the biggest game of your life, and you're sitting here worried about going to a goddamn party. Like, bro, I don't know what's going on. If anything opens up the eyes of players, stay your ass at home. Like, that's the one thing that I thought that we were really in control of was a focus that no one's going anywhere. Because I heard these guys saying the Fiesta Bowl, like, this is a business trip. We're not coming here to have fun. We're coming here to win. And but you're going to come home and go to a party that gets you. I mean, obviously it's not his fault. He didn't ask to get robbed, but 3 o'clock in the morning, you're wearing a pendant that's this goddamn big with a chain this damn big in Florida City. Why don't you just put on a sign that says "Come jack me" or something? Because that's just what it is. And realistically, if you're going to that party, why aren't you going with like a bunch of dudes that you know? Because clearly you know people down there. That's why you're there. Why aren't you with a group of people that could protect you from this type of thing? You know, I stay a mile and a half from the beach. New King got it. I'm off just south of Atlantic, off Cyprus. So I'm about a mile and a half from the beach. Yeah, go to Brickell, bro. You rocking in bread, man. You're not gonna get jacked in Brickell. There's a lot of you go to a Hard Rock, hotel. Like you can go to a lot of places like that. Going doing that goon shit, bro. Don't do that stuff. That shit is that stuff is crazy to me. You know, that stuff is crazy to me. Those people aren't your friends. They don't give a fuck about you. They're in the hood. They'll get you for where they can get you. And I'm just glad he's still with us because it could have gone the wrong way. It could have gone the wrong way. Could have gone the wrong way. No, I'm not in Palm Air. That's for the old people. That's by that's west of Power Line. I'm east of that's west of 95 and Power Line. Are you trying to come over to my house, man? Shit. East I'm in East Pompano. It just Florida City might be the worst place to go. It just doesn't. It's not the wisest decision, and I hope, and I'm glad he's okay. I'm sure emotionally he's probably pissed, bothered, embarrassed, a whole bunch of stuff. Just you know what? I hope the jewelry was insured, but realistically, he's on an NIL deal. Somebody will give him a new one for free. Just wear a fake one publicly. Wear a fake one publicly. Oh, you saw me at Flanagan? I've been at the Flanagans on Atlantic. Yes, I have been there. I have been there. It's been a while, but I've been there. Definitely. Just wear a fake one, bro. Like, don't ask Chad Johnson, bro. Chad Ocho Cinco says all my shit was fake. Like, what do you got to prove? You're driving around in a $120,000 car, bro. Like, you got everyone knows you got a humongous NIL deal. Like, just be safe. It's just nah, man. Stay home. These next 10 days. You know when you get when you're gonna get to party? You're gonna get to party on Monday night. Monday night, after the Miami Hurricanes win the national championship, the whole goddamn team is gonna end up at Live and the Fontainebleau. They're gonna have a post-game party at Live at the Fountain. I mean, that's typically where the basketball, the Heat went or whoever went. When you win an NBA championship, or in the case of the Panthers, you end up at the Elbow Room, or I'm sorry, 11. They ended up at 11. So you're gonna end up at one of these big ass freaking clubs anyhow, having a party. Just don't get yourself caught up in that. I pray for the kid. I'm glad he's okay, but any one of these players, this is different from back in the day, man. Back in the day, the players were broke. They maybe had stuff, but they were broke. They had nothing. They weren't rolling around $100,000 whips in school. Like that didn't happen. Maybe the best guys did, but not everybody. Like, it's very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. But let's see here. I do want to talk about this game against Ole Miss real quick. Shannon Dawson, for the love of God, no more. No more. No more. Stop with the gimmicks. Stop with the gimmicks. Enough with the gimmicks. We don't need trick plays to win this game. We don't need trick plays in situations where we are gashing someone right up the middle. And then you stop that and you take us from what we're doing. I understand. I understand. I understand, man. Listen, when we were calling you out, and you know what the funny thing is about the Jen and Dawson deal? We were calling Dawson out. The media called Dawson out in the press conference. And he acted really flippant and made it seem or try to it's like he tried to convince us or convince the media that we're in that room that he's been running pistol formation all year. When did you see pistol formation before week 8? When did you see pistol formation before week 8? We didn't see pistol formation at all before week 8. That was after the media called him out about having a very, very bland approach offensively. We're running the ball into the backs of the offensive line. And it all came up because the offense was so bland that teams were bringing 8 into the box and they're like daring you. We're not going to let you run the football down our throat. You're going to have to throw the football. But I also think this was at the same time, I think Beck was still dealing with elbow issues. They'll never say it publicly, but I think Beck was still dealing with real elbow issues. That he wasn't completely 100% with his elbow. Again, they'll never say it publicly. So you're running these plays. You're not using Pringle. You're not using the edges. You can't run to the edges because, quite frankly, Fletcher and Brown are too slow for the edges, and they still got 8 guys in the box. So then magically, the next game, we're running different stuff. Magically, you're seeing stuff around the edges. Magically, Pringle gets in the game and starts busting off stuff. And that's when I made my video about you need to start Gerard Pringle. And that also happened to be at the same time as when Fletcher got hurt. And at first, there were thoughts that Fletcher might be out for the year. Like there were thoughts that he might miss the rest of the season from the people that I spoke to. So when I made that video about starting him over Fletcher, now it's funny, people are now bringing that video back up and like throwing it in my face like, well, aren't you glad they didn't do that? Like it was a different situation, different time. I still think Gerard Pringle should get carries. I still think you need to have a mix, like going from Fletcher to Brown. I think you're going Fletcher to Pringle. But if you're going to Pringle, you're running around the edges. You have more options. Maybe even throw the football, although Marty Brown does a pretty decent job catching the ball out of the backfield, and he's done well. But you can see there's a difference in the burst between Fletcher and Marty Brown. So, Fletcher's faster than Brown. You can see it. You can see it. But Pringle is a guy that I would still play. But I said it in a video weeks ago. I didn't make the video last week. The short didn't come out last week. It was weeks ago. And what happened after that happened was Pringle did start, actually. And he had back-to-back 100-yard games. So people acting like Gerard Pringle wasn't killing it. He was. He absolutely was. I understand what he was thinking. But on the 34-yard line, you don't run that play. That's not that you run that play at the 50, at the 45, on your 45, because that's a play that needs space as well. You need space to run a flea flicker. A flea flicker from the opponent's 34-yard line. That's not a deep ball play. Like you want to throw a flea flicker deep. That's the goal. You want to throw it deep. So yeah, I understand it as well, Bradenton Kane, what you might be thinking, but we were gashing them, man. They couldn't stop us. That was the most dominant performance in a close score game that I've ever seen. I've never seen a dominant performance like that and the game be that damn close. And what happened when you put Pringle in there, actually, also, I'm glad you mentioned this right here, is when you put Pringle in, they had to back off those 8-man fronts. So it changed how teams were defending us. They're not putting 8 men in the box anymore because of the changes that we made offensively. So anyone acting like we didn't change, like Dawson didn't make changes, he did. And the pistol formation was one of them. The pistol formation for Mark Fletcher, man, that gives him 3 more yards to see the line of scrimmage. He's able to see where he wants to go. He can pick his holes better. When he's lined up side by side, I'm not as much of a fan unless you're doing that as a stretch play. But when you're hitting that, when Fletcher's hitting that hole from the pistol, he's hitting it really hard, much faster. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, 400. So yeah, we did catch it, but that was the midfield. Again, midfield. It's the 45, 50-yard line. And it was right after an interception, actually. That was the play right after the interception by Bryce Fitzgerald in that game. So, How can the disrespect be in your heads when people are saying that Miami's going to lose by 30? When media members are saying that Miami will lose by 30? How is it in my head when national media are saying that Indiana might be the best team in the history of college football? Indiana won 13-10 over Ohio State. Indiana was the underdog to Ohio State in that game. You have to explain to me what you mean by it's in my head. It's not in my head when I can read all these tweets from these media members saying, I don't know how Miami's going to stay on the field with these guys. That's craziness. So Penn State can stay on the field with them, and Iowa can stay on the field with them, but Old Dominican can stay on the field with them, but Miami can't stay on the field with them. Newsflash, we're not Illinois. We're not Wisconsin. Like, we're not one of these bum-ass squads. Alabama was shit toast. I didn't expect shit from them. I thought Indiana would blow them out. I didn't think it'd be 38-3, but I thought they'd beat them pretty convincingly. Oregon gave the game away. They gave it away in the first play of the game. Did I think Indiana was going to win? Yeah. Did I hope Oregon would win? Yeah, because I wanted that Mario Bowl dynamic. I thought it'd be really cool, really cool. You know. Yeah, I'm not gonna. They've been picking Miami to lose every single freaking game. Every single game. Now the end around is the only one I would run. I agree with that. The end around with Malachi or somebody or Marion or even CJ Daniels. Yeah, that's the only trickery level play. I don't need Malachi Tony running a wildcat anymore. I don't need that. Don't need it. Unnecessary. Yeah, I don't know how you can not. I don't know how it could be in my head to sit here and say that it's in my head to disrespect. Now, disrespect is clear as day, and I'm not the one playing. But if I'm a player, I'm mad disrespected. Like this stuff is ridiculous. I was born in 1977 myself. Oh, by the way, let me share some stuff with y'all while you're here. I dropped some more merch, and I don't know if y'all have seen it or not, but it is. I tell you, man, my design skills are coming along. My design skills are coming along here. Check out what I've dropped. Use the code Hurricanes25. That's capital, all caps. Hurricanes25. And so this is like one of them right here. Hurricane warning, full effect. Don't know what it looks a little different on white, so you might like it on white more than black. That's the stadium behind. All right. Then I got here. This one's fire too. They hate us because they ain't us. As we've all said, they hate us because they. And I'm not trying to kill people, man. It's only $24.99 plus shipping. So this is back from the. This is from the Ole Miss game. So you see that one. Got another one here. That's courtesy of Killing Marion. And what he said, lace your boots up. Lace your boots up. I think that one's pretty cool. This one also right here. This is without the stadium background. And then another one we did. That's for Ole Miss. And of course, the national championships right there. And this one also. So again, if you want to, I appreciate it. And then of course I have the other stuff that I made the week before. Protect the Asylum, since that's where we play the Asylum, so they call it. And of course we got excitement, swarm violence, ESV. And I like it. I like it in black the most. I always like it in black personally, but I want to make options for people. This was Mario's comment. Mass kicks ass. I agree. And then the final one, trench warfare, because that's where we're winning this damn football game. We win this game in the trenches, and then go first the rest of the merch that we have here, and so forth. So again, let me give you the link right here. That is the link for the site. Use the code Hurricanes, all caps, 25 for 25% off your entire order. I appreciate y'all supporting it. So I'm just looking at some of the comments y'all have here. Who's gonna be the quarterback in 2026? I have no idea. I am not into the recruiting stuff as much right now. I do know that we picked up an Ohio State guy today. It's funny, we got an Ohio State defensive lineman. I know people would have some questions, so I did look it up as far as where we are. So far, we have brought in Jarquez Carter. He's out of Ohio State, 6'1", 288-pound defensive lineman. Played 7 games this year. We brought in Vandrevius Jacobs out of South Carolina. He's a wide receiver, 6'1", 195. He's a good wide receiver. He's trending upward. Omar Thornton out of Boston College. Homeboy was from South Florida. Did he go to American Heritage? Yeah, he went to American Heritage, 5'11", 200-pound safety. This is like Jacoby Thomas again. This is like Jacoby Thomas again. This dude, he hits like a goddamn tank. Like that kid lays thunder on people. Thunder on people. And then finally I see this guy named Cam Vaughn out of West Virginia. 4-star guy in the portal, 6'2", 185. At a Temple, Georgia, was at West Virginia. Was actually he went to Jacksonville State first with Zachariah Poyser, then went to transferred to West Virginia, and now this will be his 3rd school. Now the Sam Levitt is reportedly signed with LSU, so that was actually kind of a surprise based on the fact that I saw so many insiders say that Levitt was coming to Miami. I don't know how I feel about it personally because my biggest concern about Sam Levitt was his foot and his injury. And if you lose the guy, that's the one thing that's concerning now. The report is that Miami's offered Ty Simpson $6.5 million. Folks, this system is broken. This system is absolutely broken. This recruiting system is completely broken. That is insane. $6.5 million to play for 1 year. I would be shocked if he didn't take it. I would be surprised at this point if Ty Simpson, if that's true, what's been reported, I'd be surprised if Ty Simpson wasn't Miami's quarterback next year. And I got to be honest with you. I think at a certain point, you have to start developing your own guys. I know you probably don't want to do that immediately for next season because if you're coming off of winning a national championship, please, you're joking, right, Jake? You're not giving the keys to Emory Williams. Come on, man. Are you messing with me, man? Are you messing with me here? You're messing with me, right? I'm not giving the keys to Emory Williams, man. I'm shocked that Emory Williams isn't in the portal personally. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that Emory Williams. If Miami had not made it to the national championship, Emory Williams would be in the portal, in my opinion. Like, I'm shocked that he didn't go to the portal. But I'll be real. I would be looking at if you bring in Ty Simpson, and I have no issues with that. If you bring in Ty Simpson, I will say this. You should be preparing the next guy in your locker room. I don't think 6.5 million is a bargain for any player in college football. I don't care how far he takes you. That's just my opinion. I think that's insane. And I think Ty Simpson's actually pretty good. I think he's very, very fundamentally sound. It's interesting how they couldn't run the football this year. And I think for what Cristobal has built or is building, he likes, this is the type of QB that I think works for him. Fundamentally sound type of quarterback, a moving van. I would be looking to train Coleman for year 2. I would be looking to train Coleman to get Coleman ready. I would open it up I would have it in the spring. This spring, I would have an open competition for the number 2 spot. If Simpson's in Miami, Simpson's your quarterback. If he comes to Miami, and it's happened the last 2 times where we took 2 guys who were in the draft and got them to come back to school. I think Dante Moore sucks. I would never want Dante Moore on my team. I think he sucks. I think that guy's so fucking. He's a low IQ player. I think he sucks. You know what I see when I watch Dante Moore? I see a right. Is he right-handed or I don't know if is he left-handed or right-handed? I see Tua. I see Tua. I think he sucks. I think he's absolutely terrible. I cannot believe that they got that guy as a top 5 pick. Flabbergasting. It's flabbergasting to me. I think Dante Moore stinks. I think he's not. I don't think he makes good decisions. I think he's not very. I don't think he's that good. There's not a legitimate first round pick quarterback in this draft. Not one. Like none of these guys are better than the top 4 from last year. None of them. Wasn't about what he couldn't do when he Ryan Williams, the receiver, took a step back this year. For people that don't know, he took a major step back. The problem is Kalen DeBoer. The problem is the coach. They couldn't run the football. The problem is, guess what, people? NIL has changed the landscape of college football. NIL has changed the landscape of soft as Frank Lopez. He's soft like Frank Lopez. I'm Tony Montana. Yeah, I feel you. I don't think any of these guys are a top 3 round pick. Like, are you telling me that if I'm the Miami Dolphins right now are in a dilemma? And if there's any Dolphins fans in here, we just fired Mike McDaniel, thank God. Tua wants to leave, thank God, but I don't know who wants that bump for $55 million. And I would be giving the ball to Quinn Ewers. I'm not drafting any one of these guys over. I'll just give the ball to Quinn Ewers and see what I got. Because the next year I'm going to have a better draft class. I think the problem is Kalen DeBoer. But I also think that NIL has completely changed the landscape of football. There's a reason. Nick Saban said enough. I'm out of here. Because Nick Saban knew that he was not going to dominate the world anymore. He knew that he wasn't going to get the same dogs every year. He knew that he wasn't going to have a third stringer who's 5-star. He knew this. He knew that these guys with NIL were going to dip after a year if they weren't on the field. They're going to go get paid, and they were going to dip after a year. They're going to be out of there. Like, they were going to be gone. They're like, forget this crap. I'm not here anymore. I'm not going to sit on the bench. Like, I don't care who you are. And these guys, and it's because of the money, because of the NIL money. Like, this stuff isn't even hidden anymore. This isn't even like the John Ruiz stuff that we had when it first started, where he's trying to buy everybody and buys a plane and wants to build a stadium and all that crap. This isn't even that. This is worse than that, because now there's collectives on every school. There's a collective for every single school. They're pooling up their money, and they're looking to buy $25 million freaking rosters like Texas Tech just did. This shit is crazy. The guys that fly straight are the ones that left in this business. Oh, what was it? You know what a hustle is, Frank? It's a pig who don't fly straight. I mean, it's changed. So what's happened is Alabama does not have 2-3 deep anymore. Hell, 3 deep. They don't have it anymore. Those guys leave. They want to play. Georgia doesn't have those guys anymore. I'm gonna be real. I wanted to play Georgia. I thought Ole Miss was better than Georgia. I just thought Ole Miss was mentally soft. But skill? Ole Miss is better than Georgia. Georgia's got no pass rush whatsoever. None. Gunnar Stockton sucks. Do not tell me that Gunnar Stockton is better than Carson Beck. Please do not tell me that. I'm running with Quinn Ewers if I'm a Dolphins fan right now. I'll deal with it. Hell, I might go to Zach Wilson. One of those two guys is my starter next year. They're going to have a CBA in college football because this stuff is out of control. They need the U.S. Congress to get involved. There was a video that Joe Klatt did today, a short that I saw, and I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. But this is like, how are we playing semifinals games on a Thursday and a Friday night? Nick Saban knew it. He knew what was coming. And he knew that he no longer had the competitive advantage of duffel bags in people's living rooms. He knew it. Look at the draft. And you're not gonna see 6 Alabama players taken in the first round or 5 Bama players taken in the first round. You're not gonna see that. The draft is evening out as well. The Rebels may have been overrated to you, but they were better than Georgia. They're better than Georgia. My take on the game, but I'll get to the take on the game. But NIL's changed everything. So I wouldn't have a problem. Simpson makes sense. But I'm getting one of those younger guys ready, whether it's Luke Nickel, whether it's Coleman, whoever it is. It's not Emory Williams. We can squash that. I would recommend him transfer, to be honest, just for his own sake to play somewhere. But Coleman or Nickel, I'm getting those guys ready. Coleman's really the guy that I'm looking at. If you saw the video, there was a video they just dropped when he committed to Miami. The excitement level of Dawson and Cristobal was crazy. Like, they were so excited. Coleman's a playmaker. Now, he's small. He's small. Like, there's no two ways around. He is not a big guy. He's not tall. He's not big. That's something that now you have to look at how you're gonna run your offense with a guy like that. Because now you gotta wonder, you're trying to build a team a certain way. Does he fit the way you're building your team? That's the question. I don't care about the NFL playoffs. I couldn't care less. You know what's on the TV behind me? I'm doing a podcast. Nothing. There's a playoff game going on right now. If I cared about the NFL playoffs, I would have pushed this back to tomorrow and be watching the playoffs. Couldn't care less about them. Did I watch them? Yeah. Do I care? Not really. I think the NFL is boring. The NFL is sleepy. I never thought Beck was trash. So again, they created a narrative that they didn't want to tell the truth about. Like, telling the truth matters. Telling the truth matters. If you're I'll ask you this question. What would you be watching on Saturday if Miami was playing at 8:00 at night? Who played on Saturday night in the playoffs? No one. Yes, they did. Someone did. NFL.
Bears, Green Bay.
Was it the Bears in the Green Bay game?
Green Bay and the Panthers.
Yes, the Bears, Green Bay. It was 21-3. The Bears were up on Green Bay, 21-3 at halftime. I don't know how the hell they came back because I left at halftime. I went out to dinner with my wife. It's the first time we've gone out in months because of football. I went out with my wife. We got to an ice cream place like midnight, and the Bears had just won the game. Like, what the hell happened? But real shit, would you be watching the fucking Bears game or the Hurricanes game? I got to believe that a semifinal, NCAA semifinal game would get just as many viewers as the NFL or more. NFL's boring. I agree. NFL's boring. No, I know what you said. That's the point. The NCAA is acting like a bunch of bitches by not playing on Saturday. Like, your night is Saturday. Fuck the NFL. Stop worrying about what the NFL does. Stop worrying about it. You want people to go to the games? There were empty seats at the Fiesta Bowl. There were empty seats at the Fiesta Bowl. Why? Because, number one, you put the game fucking 3,000 miles away from Miami and 2,500 miles away from Ole Miss, or 2,000 miles away from Ole Miss. You got two teams from the Southeast United States playing on the freaking West Coast. And you wonder why the place is not completely full. You could have bought a ticket to the Fiesta Bowl for $50. Think about it. You could have bought a ticket for $50 to that game, to a semifinal game. The get-in price was $50. I don't know what the ratings were for that game. It was a Thursday night. It was a Thursday night. You put, man, screw the NFL. Put that shit 3:30 and 8 o'clock. You put Indiana and Oregon at 3:30. You put Miami and Ole Miss at 8 o'clock. Call it a day. And you do them back to back. In different cities, no less, but back to back. Get it done with. I do think it's a little bit unfair, being real. I do think it's a bit unfair to Indiana to have to play the next day. The same way it was unfair to Ole Miss that they played a day later than Miami in the semifinals. The semifinals should have been all day long. It should have been 12. I mean, hell, it's 12, 3:30, 7, and hell. I mean, I know they don't want it for television purposes, but you got to play all 4 games on one day. Like I'm being at home on New Year's Eve. A lot of people don't like that shit. I don't care really, but from the perspective of evening it out, like it for that game, the Miami game against Ole Miss should have been on Friday. They should have put the Oregon Indiana game on Thursday, because then you would have given Ole Miss the proper time, because Ole Miss was in a tough situation having to deal with coaches going to Louisiana to do the portal while trying to coach and prepare for a semifinal game. They got to Arizona on Monday for a game on Wednesday, had to do media shit on Tuesday. Like, that was a mess for Ole Miss, being honest. Yeah, Isaiah Horton's going to Texas, right? Texas?
I don't know. Is he committed?
I just saw that Isaiah Horton's going to Texas.
Just now?
Yeah, no, I saw that he committed to Texas, I believe.
Yeah, cool.
Or he goes to Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, I think. Wait.
No. Commitment. Texas A&M. A&M. Isaiah Horton committed to Texas A&M. Isaiah Horton committed to Texas A&M. So, yeah, people, yeah, Jake, it was only the best ever because we won. Because if we had lost, it wouldn't have been the best ever as shit. We would have been miserable. That would have been misery that night if we had lost that game. So, and yeah, Horton's not coming here. And I wouldn't, I mean, would I welcome him back? I mean, I couldn't care less, honestly. I think he kind of punked out. I think he punked out. I didn't like, I was shocked that dude left. His feelings were too hurt. His feelings were hurt from the year before. Like, he was, from what I've heard, his family was offended that they brought in other guys that year who they thought were being brought in to take his job, like Sam Brown. But yeah, I would have them on Saturday, and I'm gonna be real. This whole idea of playing on Monday night, why? This game should be on Saturday or Sunday, for that matter, or Sunday. I don't know how people feel about that, but to me, I mean, it works out for Miami for the injury perspective and getting guys healthy. But this game should be on Saturday night. This game should be, why? Because number one, it's a weekend. It's a weekend, and there are still people that have to work on Martin Luther King Day on Monday. It should be on Saturday. You're literally putting a game on Monday night during rush hour traffic. Whether or not it's a holiday or not, I guarantee there are people that are still working on Martin Luther King Day on Monday. People will still be going to work. Not everybody, it'll be a lot less, but rush hour traffic in Miami-Dade County, Florida is still rush hour traffic, and it will not be an easy way to get into that goddamn game. Because you put that game at 8 o'clock on a Saturday, guess what? People will start showing up at that bitch at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They'll be there all damn day. It'll be a big-ass party. And guess what? After the game, I don't care if I get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, because the next day is Sunday. But if you got me on Monday, you causing headaches for people the next day. You think my kids are going to the game on Monday? My kids are going to the game on Monday, right? They're probably not going to school Tuesday. Probably not. I'm just being completely honest about that. Probably not. It depends on when we get home. Because if we get home, if we're stuck in that parking lot until 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't know that we're going to school on Tuesday unless they got practice for some sport. I don't know that we're going to school on Monday. My work schedule, I control it, so I'm not worried about that. But for most people, if I had to go into an office, I'd be called out. I would have taken vacation for that day already. I would have taken vacation for. It wasn't always on Monday. Back in the day when it was bowl games, it was January 1st. It could have been any day of the week. It wasn't always on Monday. I know the playoff thing made it Monday. I think that's stupid. Why can't the NFL go with 12 and 4 and the national championships at 8? What's the problem? Like, what's the problem? Because now we're talking about this is the divisional playoffs now. This is the divisional. So there's only 4 teams left on both sides. You play at 12, or you play at 1, you play at 1 and 4:30, and at 8 o'clock is your national championship on Saturday. And no one is being bothered by the fact that the NFL is playing because the game is already over. Not to mention, and I will say this, God almighty, I just thought about this, people. For those of you from South Florida, who here is in South Florida on this video right now? Who is from South Florida? And I agree, I would call out on Monday if I worked on Monday too. I'm asking the question because every single year on MLK, there's something in South Florida called Guns Down, Wheels Up. This is that what do you call it? Permitted event where a lot of dumb motherfucking kids get on dirt bikes and ATVs, and particularly in the Miami Gardens area, start doing wheelies on dirt bikes and ATVs and are all over the expressway and causing massive chaos all over South Florida. This game is in Miami Gardens. This game is, yes, it's right. They do this by the stadium all the time. Literally the gas station on the corner of 199th and 27th Ave. They literally do it every flipping year. And we are sitting here and we got to deal with that potential. I would highly recommend to those people, don't do it this year because you're going to end up in jail. Like, you're going to end up in jail. But we're going to have to deal with that potentially as well. So rush hour traffic, idiots on dirt bikes. Like, dirt bikes are dirt bikes. Go ride in the fucking dirt. Lift your wheels up in the dirt. I had a motorcycle. There's nothing that petrifies me more than people on bikes on the expressway who drive like psychopaths. And these kids, because it's largely children, high school and young kids, younger players, younger people in their 20s, but largely mostly high school kids who are on these bikes and doing wheelies on dirt bikes in the street. I'm petrified that I'm going to hit one of these motherfuckers. Like, I'm afraid that I'm going to hit somebody. And I'm going to be more mad because you fucked up my Escalade than I ran your ass over. Huh? Your friend's a moron. Where? Which friend? In the dirt's fine, not on the street. Guys, my son, not this one, the other one, he had a friend who got on his friend's electric bike. By the way, these electric bikes, those are motorcycles. They're motorcycles. They ride them in the street. This kid rode his friend's little electric bike. They ride like lunatics. These kids are 12, 13, 14 years old. They ride like lunatics. This kid flipped over the damn bike the first time he rode it. Somebody else's bike. He goes, you want to ride it? Yeah, sure. Flips over. Damn near lost his fucking leg. He landed on his knee. When I tell you, it was like they took a fucking ice cream scooper and scooped out the meat of his kneecap. Huh? You could see the bone of his knee when he bent his knee. It was disgusting. This kid nearly lost the lower leg because of the stupid electric bike. 13, 12 years old. 11? 11 years old. 11 years old. Like, so yes, I get worried about shit like that. And my kids wonder why I'm not buying that bullshit. You must be crazy. They're expensive as shit. And I'm not buying you that shit. You can kiss my ass. You can kiss my ass, bro. Kiss my ass. So yeah, we got to deal with that on Monday too. So yeah, I wish this game was on Saturday. Now, for what you asked about the game, as I wrap this thing up, listen, it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be easy. Yeah, it slowed down from years past. Few years ago, few years ago, I wouldn't even leave my house on that day. It wasn't like I'm not even driving down the street because it was everywhere. And I live in Pompano. If people are not familiar with Pompano, Pompano is a very, very weird area where it's like the hood in Pompano is 5 minutes from everywhere in Pompano. The way Pompano is, the hood is 5 minutes away from any area of Pompano. So the hood in Pompano is 5 minutes from the beach. 5 minutes from the beach. Like I live in an area called Lincoln. What was it called? Lincoln Park. You live in an area called Lincoln Park area. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I live 5 minutes from Blanche Ely High School, but yet by car, but yet it's not near Blanche Ely High School. Yeah, somehow we could have bicycles and there's no problem. Now we got kids on electric bikes that are basically souped up lower level motorcycles. And yeah, so the way the Pompano is, there were kids on these dirt bikes all over Atlantic. All over Atlantic. I wouldn't even leave the house. Like I'm not dealing with that shit, man. I'm not dealing with that shit. Yeah, no, Pompano's fucking crazy. You have the junkies of America, the meth head, the white meth addicts. You have more rehab houses in Pompano Beach than anywhere in South Florida. Here in Del Rey, like it's like rehab central in Pompano. Right? You can Google me. You'll find where I live if you just Google me. It's not that hard. The west side of Pompano is hood, but it's 5 minutes from the east side. It's not like saying Liberty City to Kendall, or Liberty City to Miami Beach. The hood of Pompano is 5 minutes from everywhere in Pompano. So it's just funny like that. That's how Broward County is so different than Dade. Broward County is so different than Dade. Dade County is like, for those of you who live in Dade or Broward County, or if you've never been here, Dade County is like you're in a really, really nice neighborhood, and then it just gradually is a gradual regression, like where you start seeing, okay, those are multi-million-dollar houses. Okay, those are the houses that are 5, 6, 700,000. Okay, those are less. Okay, okay. Now we're in the projects. Okay, in Broward, it's different. Turn left, you're in the projects. Turn right, you're not. Turn left, you're in the projects. Turn right, you're in $1 million house. That's Pompano. It's crazy. That's Broward County, in fact. And because when I moved here in 08, I'm like, yo, this place is so different from Dade. Like it is another world. Beyond the fact that you don't have to know Spanish to live here. You know, in Dade, you need a job. You want a job, you better know Spanish. In Broward, you don't have to know Spanish to get a job. It's just so different. But and yes, it's shameful that my Spanish is not good enough, being that my father never spoke Spanish in the house when I was a kid. So that's why my Spanish is like this, not good enough. I understand it, but I don't speak it well enough. But okay, game time. This game ain't gonna be easy, man. This game is gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be a battle of wills. I mean, this is all cliche as hell, but it's gonna be a battle of wills, man. It's gonna be who can who can impose their game plan. Clean football, clean ball. If we play clean football, I don't care what Indiana does. We win the game. If we play clean, that means limited penalties, no turnovers. We win the game. If we do what we did versus Ole Miss, we are going to give ourselves a big ass headache. Indiana takes advantage of mistakes. Indiana does not usually kill themselves. Indiana's got the highest turnover margin in the country. Their turnover margin is actually higher than ours. They're number one in turnover margin. Um, I'll give you the exact numbers. They are number one in the country. Miami is number 16. That's what it says here. That's not accurate. We're good in turnover margin. They are the best in turnover margin. Let me just see. Let me find the stats. Indiana has a top number 2 defense in the country. Again, I don't think Indiana's played the teams that we've played overall. They've not played in. They haven't played in Ole Miss. Heck, they haven't played in Texas A&M offensively. Like they haven't played. They haven't. The only semi-mobile quarterback they play is Dante Moore. Other than that, they haven't played a mobile quarterback all year. You know, they haven't had to deal with that guy who can run. Now we don't have that guy who can run either, but they haven't had to deal with that. Let me see where. Let me find it. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are interested, Houston's up 10-6 on the Steelers in the fourth quarter.
10-6?
Yeah. I think Dante Moore's ass also. Like, I agree with you completely. I think he sucks. I really, I mean, I'm not even joking. I think he's fucking terrible. I think he's terrible. I think he's terrible. All right, so Miami has forced 16, 25 turnovers and committed 11. So we have 11 picks. 3. So we're plus 11 in turnover ratio. That's very, very good. That's very good. And Indiana's plus 21 in turnovers. They've lost 1 fumble all year, and they've only thrown 6 interceptions. So they've forced 28 turnovers. They are solid. They're not gonna kill themselves. Now, mind you, Fernando Mendoza threw a pick that cost Indiana a touchdown against Ohio State. That happened. He did throw a touchdown that cost him a touchdown. He did throw an interception that cost him a touchdown. He did throw a pick 6 against Oregon in their first game that made it 20-20 in the fourth quarter. This all goes down to, once again, pressure. This is a pressure situation. Mendoza has not played as well against top 25 teams as Carson Beck has. He hasn't seen a pass rush like Miami's. This is a fact. He hasn't seen a pass rush like Texas A&M's. So the media can kiss my ass. The media can kiss my ass. Yeah, Florida State had the number 1 offense in the country when we played them, and we wiped them out. So I'm not so overly concerned about Indiana's offense as I'm more concerned about how we play and how we handle our business as a unit. And if Miami plays a clean game, Miami wins. Miami is going to win if Miami plays a clean game. I stand on that. Clean game, you win. You don't play clean, you leave yourself up for some headache. I think Carson Beck will play well. I think Miami's going to run the ball really well. I think Miami's offensive line's going to come out with a mission. I think the crowd's going to be so damn hype. The defense, and I'll say this as well. I think it's absolutely awesome that we played like what I'd call shit against Ole Miss in terms of cleanliness of the game. I think it's awesome that happened. If it's awesome that happened, and I'll tell you why it's awesome. Because you can't get worse than that. We did a lot of dumb things against Ole Miss, like really dumb things. Inez Cooper, I don't expect him to have 2 false starts this game. You're at home. I don't expect to see a false start from Markel Bell. I don't expect to see, stupid holding penalties. I damn sure don't expect to see dumbass defensive linemen hitting guys in the pile when they're on the ground. Like that was downright stupid. That was so dumb. I mean, who was that on? Was that on Blay?
Yeah.
David Blay?
Yeah.
He dove into a pile after their guys on the ground. That's just dumb. Like that's a selfish, dumbass play. The Beck pick was a tip ball. But you know what happened before that Beck pick? We had a penalty. And when you commit dumb penalties, you change the things that you're going to do. Yeah, Davis missed the field. It was a 51-yarder. It wasn't a chippy, but he missed it. He did miss a field goal. But at the same time, like, I thought Beck played I told people in the preview, I thought Beck would play a great game. He did just that. If you were nervous about Beck end of game situation, holy shit, you shouldn't be nervous now. You shouldn't be worried about Carson Beck now. And end of game situation, you watch Carson Beck win us that game. Like, I mean, you could call it whatever you want. Carson Beck won that game in the fourth quarter. Carson Beck won that game. He made every throw he needed to make. Keelan Marion played big. Malachi Tony's tunnel screen for a touchdown. It was like the old linemen were just there, but they didn't actually block anybody. He just. I need you to stop talking. Like my son keeps talking to me while I'm talking to y'all. Please stop. Then go to sleep. It's past your bedtime, bro. He like zigzagged, but the linemen were just in the way. They didn't actually block anyone. The last block was actually set up by CJ. CJ Daniels is the one that sprung it at the end because he made a block. He was the only guy that blocked anybody on that play. That was Malachi Tony making a play. So yeah, I think Beck will play well. I think we'll run the ball. That big old line. I dare Indiana to play 8 in the box. I would dare them to bring 8 in the box. Because if they bring 8 in the box, I think Beck's going to pick them apart. And realistically, if then you look at the interceptions that were dropped, you're not going to drop 4 picks. You're not going to. Trinidad Chambliss, for as great as people wanted to make him be, and he's a talented dude. That guy threw 5. I thought it was 5, but at least 4 that hit our guys in the chest. If those are interceptions, Miami wins this game by 3 or 4 touchdowns. And people are looking at Trinidad Chambliss and saying, yo, Miami just ate that motherfucker alive. But because we dropped them, it was like, oh, there's a weakness in mine. No, we dropped picks. 2 of those would have been pick sixes, the one by Jacoby Thomas and the one right before the half. I think it was Ethan O'Connor. Dropped the pick. Those were both pick sixes. So you have plays like that. And then, of course, you have the interception that Beck threw on a tip ball, the penalties that we committed, the unevenness of the game that Dawson called with the weird trick plays at the wrong time. It was Day. Okay, so it was Dylan Day. Okay. All of those things, and Miami wins 31-27. And Carson Beck leads 2 75-yard drives in the fourth quarter. And Miami has the ball for over 41 minutes. I think Miami's going to control time of possession against Indiana. By the way, in case you didn't know, against Oregon, the time of possession with Indiana and Oregon was pretty even. It was like 31.5 to 28.5. Indiana had it, but I think Miami. I mean, you call me. People can call us homers or whatever. I think Miami's going to win, and I do think that home field matters. I think scoring early matters. You need to jump out on front. You got to take the lead early. You got to play with the lead. But also what we saw in the fourth quarter against Ole Miss was even when we lost the lead twice, we came back and won. We fell behind 3 times against Ole Miss in that game. 7-3. We come right back down and march down 75 yards. We had 4 75-yard touchdown drives against Ole Miss. I thought we couldn't score. Isn't that what they told us? We couldn't score? Would you call that game a shootout? 31-27 is a lot of points in football. Is that a shootout? The fourth quarter sure as shit was a shootout. The damn Ole Miss defensive line was sucking wind. And Dawson kind of let them off the hook in certain situations. So, yeah, play a clean game, no penalties, obviously no turnovers, and you fix the things that you did wrong. See, Indiana's coming in on a major high. We just crushed Oregon. Okay. I look at it a little bit differently. I think Oregon just said, "Here's a gift, and I'm going to bowl wrap it for you." And it doesn't change the fact, take away the fact they took advantage of the mistakes. But again, they could play the game 100 times. You would never see that happen again. And look, if it happens in this game, and it happens to be that we turn them over 3 times and block a punt, we're going to put up 50 on their ass. Like, that's what happens when those types of things happen. Yeah, you put up 50 on somebody when that happens. And I don't even, and by the way, that intentional grounding on the flea flicker, yes, that was another one of those. That was a gimmick play. Took us out of field goal range. Hell, it was first down when he did it. Like, it made no sense. And it came right after we had like a 20-yard run. So it was like it made no sense. You were gashing him. So, and I didn't even know that was a rule. Like, I didn't even know that was a rule, that you can't throw the ball away from outside the pocket on a flea flicker, that you lose the ability to throw it away. How does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know about 41-20, but your mouth to God's ears. Because if it's 41-20, I'm gonna be in heaven. That'll be so nice. But I think it's gonna be a very, very good game. I think it's gonna be a close game, and it's gonna be a fight. And I do believe Miami's gonna win the game. I'll have my score prediction next on Saturday. I'll have a preview on Saturday, maybe Friday. But yeah, of course, I like the Miami Hurricanes. I think home field advantage matters. I don't care what anyone says. They can say that Indiana's gonna have all these people there. The Miami Hurricanes sidelines gonna be filled with former Hurricanes. The energy from the crowd is gonna be nuts. It's gonna be loud. Folks, it's been 23 years since we've been to a national championship game. 23 years. We can match up better. I agree we match up better, but 41-20 is a pretty huge ass whooping. I mean, like I said, I'm not disrespecting somebody like that to say, well, we're gonna put up 41 on their ass. The only way that happens is if we're turning Mendoza over. Is if we're turning him over and getting interceptions and getting pick sixes. Because to put up 41 on that team will be just that's significant. Like, you're talking about a team that has given up no more than 20 points. Okay, 24. Their high this year was 24 at Penn State. 41, it's a lot. That's a lot. They didn't want us here. We're here. But yeah, of course, I like Miami. And again, go check out the merch site before I go. And I appreciate y'all jumping on board tonight. There will be no Hurricanes Unfiltered next Monday night because I will be at the game naturally. So I will have recap after the game, but there will not be a Hurricanes Unfiltered next Monday night because I will be at the game. Maybe I'll do one on Sunday night. But I'll see, because I have another show called Sunday Night Heat that I do. Maybe I'll talk to my partner and see if he wants to do Hurricanes Unfiltered with me. But that's all I got, man. That's all I got. I appreciate y'all. Check out all the videos. If you haven't gone to the Instagram page, please subscribe to the Instagram pages, because I do drop shorts there. And I dropped a short today, and it's based on the disrespect. I did drop a short today, and it's done pretty damn well. Got to be honest. I'm sure it's popped. Wow, it's got 40,900 views. I've only got 807 followers on Instagram. So on Hurricanes Unfiltered, on Come On Now podcast, I got over 3,000. But on Hurricanes Unfiltered, which I started in August, September, I've got under 800, or just over 800. So please do go over there and follow. Go over there and follow, man. But yeah, of course I like Miami. No question about it. Again, hit the merch site, hurricanesunfiltered.com. Go to the merch, click on merch, and then Hurricanes 25 in all caps for 25% off your entire order. That's it, folks. Let's get ready to play a football game a week from now. It's fun, man. This is fun. I don't even know how to feel. Like I don't even know how to feel because it's like it's almost surreal that after we lost to SMU that day, that initial day, I thought we were done. But I thought we were done because I thought that they would put us like into the 20s in the rankings. And then the next day came out and they had us at 18. And that's when I said this season is not over yet. This season is not over yet. And I think people recall I said if Miami wins out, Miami will be in the playoffs. Does anyone here remember that? Miami wins out, Miami will make the playoffs. Did it go exactly how I expected it to go? No, because I thought Alabama would beat Oklahoma. And had that happened, we would have been saved of that Alabama bullshit, and Oklahoma would have been gone. And then we would have had Miami and Notre Dame in the playoffs. And then it would have been Miami at 9 and Notre Dame at 10. But yeah, that day, it was like the world ended for all of us. That 12 noon, 11 a.m. in Texas start. Because I thought that they would drop us so far because because the ACC gets so little respect that it was like shit's over with. But the next day when I dropped it at number 18, when I saw the AP poll at 18, I was like, okay, we're gonna be no worse than 8. We're gonna be no worse than 18 in the CFP. That's exactly what we were, and that's when I was like, yeah, this shit ain't over. We went out, but then again, a lot of Hurricane fans thought we would lose again. Like it's all about attitude. I don't know what changed. I don't really know what I think changed really. What I think really changed, Shannon Dawson. You didn't watch another game after the SMU game? Jesus Christ. Okay. That's wild. And I don't typically have faith. Like that's the thing. I don't typically have belief or faith, but what we did early on, it wasn't by accident. It wasn't an accident what we did. I think what changed was Shannon Dawson. I'm gonna be real. The media members calling him out in that press conference on Sunday after the SMU game. I don't want to say that it made a difference, but I think it made a difference. I think it really kind of hit him in the face. That people are seeing, like, you better go back and watch this film, bro, because people are seeing mistakes from you, and you're the one, you're the reason. Because the defense wasn't the reason. It's you. It's you. I appreciate it, Jake. Thank you. It's you. And he really adjusted, but now he's gotten uneven. Now he's gone a little bit uneven with his game call. Keep it simple, stupid. That's it. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. We were all pissed about how they were playing. Here's the biggest beef that I'm gonna always have with people, fans of teams. When I was at that Louisville game, it's 24-14. And this is the stuff about Carson Beck that drives me crazy. That people just don't, they get emotional about, or they listen to national narratives that have been created about Beck. Beck's had national narratives created about Beck. They created narratives about Beck to stick it up Beck's ass. Like right now, I bet you Hannah Cavender's begging to get back with Beck. The committee didn't have real faith in us. The committee based their ranking on us based on the AP. I don't trust the committee's fucking bullshit either. They're full of crap because if the committee used the resume, Miami would have ranked in the top 10 in that first initial poll. Miami would have ranked the top 10. So I don't believe the committee had any faith in us. I think that they screwed us so bad that they had to fix it at some point. Got it right at the end, sure, but Miami should have been no less than the 8 seed. Miami should have been no less than the 8 seed. No less. The fact that we were number 10, we should have been hosting a first round game. That said, Carson Beck in that game on 4th and 4 from midfield has a beeline blitz where the left guard completely whiffs on his block, and he's about to get absolutely crushed. And he just chucks it out there. He just throws the ball out there. And it gets intercepted, and people are like, oh, he threw another pick. Well, what the fuck was this guy going to do? Like, seriously, what was he going to do? There was an unblocked rusher that went right up the fucking A gap, for Christ's sakes, right next between the guard and center. Went right up the A gap. What is he supposed to do? And that pick was 4th and 4, so it really was a punt. People were all mad. So if he had taken a sack at midfield, people would say, oh, why are you taking a sack? Well, the fact that he threw that pick, the next play, we get the ball back on a fumble, and we're one play later in the end zone. It's a 24-21 game. And I watched the fans in the stands in the lower level just beelining for the exits at 24-14 after that pick. They didn't even wait one more play. They ran out. And we were that close to having a really humongous comeback. Yeah, it ended up with a pick, and again, I went on back. That was a hot read, and Elijah Lofton ran the wrong route. Not to mention, we were in field goal range once again. A little uneven play calling. Why you're not trying to score, win the game with a touchdown. Instead, you're trying to like dink and dunk it down the field. Which that was my fear with Ole Miss, was that we were going to try to play for a field goal. And I was glad that we didn't, because I thought that if we had played for a field goal, we probably would have lost in overtime, because our guys were injured. A lot of dudes were hurt against Ole Miss. So I was really hoping that we would go to finish the game. But realistically, it's like they're just beeline for the exits. Like, bro, it's like the Miami Heat fans back in 14, 28 seconds to go in the game 6 of the finals, and you're running for the exits in a 5-point game. And then you're banging on the door, wanting to get back in. Like, yeah, it was an incredible interception too. It was like, that guy literally fingertipped the tip of the ball from the ground to pick it off. Like, that play could happen 9 more times and he would not catch that ball. So, like, that's the one thing about Miami fans, that just drives me crazy. Like, I don't leave games early. Like, I'll sit there through the loss. I'll sit there through the blowout win. I'm not leaving early. I'm definitely not leaving early in a 10-point game with 8 minutes to go. Do you watch how these games flip in 3, 4, 5 minutes in football today? They flip like this. Why would you leave? So, yeah. And that's a team that at the time was ranked number 2 in the country, and you're walking out. You want to know why we get reputations for certain things? It's shit like that. So, I don't care what the score is. Come national championship, you better not walk out until that shit says 0-0-0-0. Win or lose. You're playing for the national championship. So that's all I got, folks. I appreciate y'all. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so, ring that bell, leave your comments. And once again, follow us on social. And once again, it's Hurricanes Unfiltered. Papa, come on now, the podcast. It's all about you, baby. Let's get it. Come on now.